Welcome to Dodgers Daily down on the farm. Casey Porter here, so glad you decided to tune in. Just a reminder that it is a great day to be a Dodger, no doubt about it. So, hey, who you're looking at right here is Aiden Feller, a young man who was drafted out of Southern Illinois last year, who got his first professional win as a starter last night for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, and had a really good night. Again, got the win. He moved to 2-1 on the year, 23-year-old, drafted out of Southern Illinois in the 11th round. So the fastball you're seeing here is 93-95. He can run it up to 97. Also throws a good slider, a cutter, and a splitter. So get used to the name Aiden Feller, young man who is very talented out of Southern Illinois. Wanted to make sure and get him in and congratulate him on his very first win as a professional as a starter. And as we move on to our next pitcher for Rancho Cucamonga, get out your Rolodex. Get it out right now and put this young man in it wherever you want to. I would put him up towards the front because you talk about a guy that strikes out everybody. I mean, you're talking about that Vulcan change, which is a centerpiece for Ryan Brown, who's what we're talking about. Young man who dealt with injury, finally back, and just absolutely doing what he always does, which is striking guys out. He faced 7 hitters last night, struck out 5 of them, and that is just kind of what he does every single time. Ryan Brown, there's that Vulcan change. Look at that, and that competitive nature to him. ERA down to 117, average against just 113, and Ryan Brown has allowed just 1 run in his last 7 outings. So like I said, get your Rolodex out and keep it out because we have Ryan Brown, and then the guy we're going to go to next is another guy that you need to make sure is in your Rolodex as well, because that is this young man right here. If I can get his video up right here, Eduardo Quintero. Eduardo Quintero, one of the fastest guys in minor league baseball, continues to destroy California League pitching. He's hitting .323. Quintero's OPS is .1022. And Quintero has hits in 15 games in a row, so very consistent. He's hitting .397 and 58 at-bats this month, so he's been super explosive, super hot, really coming into his own. You remember he kind of finished last year a little bit slow, so it's good to see Eduardo Quintero settle in and be so good this year. And then not only has he had a high batting average, almost 400 this month and 58 at-bats, he also has 4 home runs, so 14 RBIs, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and he scored 17 runs. So very, very good job for Eduardo Quintero, one of the most exciting, definitely most exciting young prospects in the Dodgers system, very highly ranked and touted prospect, outfield prospect in the Dodgers system. He has a carrying tool of a speed, but he's showing some power as well. And as we move up to the Great Lakes level, Joe Vitrano, Big Joe. Hey, that a boy, got out to a really, really slow start. Just needed to barrel a couple of balls up and get going and get some confidence. Had some injury problems last year. But one thing you'll notice about him is just the great way that he uses his hands. When Joe Vitrano is going well and he's seeing the ball and he's confident, he's swinging the bat with confidence. I think that's the key for him. The confidence comes and goes. Watch this. Watch him use his hands. See how he just uses his hands to take the barrel to the ball? Those are the types of guys that are able to make the best adjustments. So after a very slow start, Joe Vitrano up to 258, OPS 806, and like I said, he's caught fire. He's posted his 2 hits posted his 4th multi-hit game in his last 6. So 4 multi-hit games in the last 6 he's played, and he's 11 for his last 24. So Big Joe, the big man, is really starting to catch fire. Really what he's doing is he's just actually kind of settling into the season, and he's getting further away from his injury situation and settling down and getting comfortable at the professional level. First time we have ever posted or talked about this young man, Jackson Nicholas. I got to see him way too many times at the University of Oklahoma. This dude can mash. I mean, he makes things look very, very easy. He very similar kind of setup to Michael Conforto, and I know Michael Conforto hasn't had a great year for the Dodgers, so don't start screaming at me as far as that goes. But there's just absolutely no doubt that Michael Conforto has been an elite. Well, he's been a very good major league hitter, very similar just easy, sweet left-handed stroke for Jackson Nicholas. I promise you, I've seen this guy hit a lot in college. And, whenever you're facing like your arch rival, which OU is Oklahoma State's arch rival, and Jackson Nicholas played for OU, you really know how good the other player is whenever you're trying to compete against them, and you just don't feel like you can ever get them out. That was the feeling you got with Jackson Nicholas whenever Oklahoma State played OU. So I promise you, he's off to a very slow start in his first, he got drafted last summer. He's off to a very slow start in his first full professional season, but kind of like Joe Vitrano, I promise he will settle in, and when he does, he will hit the baseball, no doubt. How about this? Bam, Wilman Diaz. Wanted to show you the home run he hit last night. Very, very, very impressive for him. So I had another very highly touted prospect in the past, shortstop prospect Wilman Diaz, point blank, has not found the best version of his offensive game yet. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't mean to throw shade or be negative or anything like that. That's just kind of a fact. And so I wanted to show you the power potential. Of course, he hasn't hit very many home runs. This was only his second home run of the year. But as you can see, this leads the entire stadium. And so when Wilman Diaz connects and everything goes right, he does have the power potential. And you talk about serious power. Watch this. Easy as can be, right up the middle. John Vicari, who was announcing the game, broadcasting the game, mentioned just how easy this looks. Now notice how easy that looks. That is 103 miles an hour off the bat for Zaire Hope. I mean, that, it's one thing to have exit velos when everything goes perfect and you tie into a really nice pitch and all that and all this. But when you just do that right there, you just kind of serve one right back up the middle and it's 103. That's when you know you have some serious thump coming off of your bat. And the guy who started last night, Mr. Electricity, Eric Swan. You got the full Eric Swan experience last night. He gave up to the very first hitter of the game an opposite field hit that he struck out the side to finish the first inning. Then in the second inning, he gave up a hit. He walked actually 3 guys in the second inning, then struck out the last 2 hitters of the second inning. Then in the third inning, he settled in and he struck out the first and last hitters. He got a ground out in between that. All in all, for Eric Swan, Mr. Electric, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. Hey, Eric Swan, his stuff is so explosive that he had a lot of margin for error. He's just trying to get away from all the injury issues that he had last year. And so it's just a matter for him of just staying healthy and just stacking one outing after the other with good health. So because when you do that, that's whenever your execution starts getting better. And so it's all a matter of just stacking outings and getting the execution to match the explosive nature of his stuff for Eric Swan. And how about as we move up to the AA level, Peter Heubeck. Wow, Peter Heubeck, you talk about loud. He was loud last night. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, just 1 walk. So this is the Ben Casperia story all over again. This is a guy, Peter Heubeck, drafted out of high school, that has sat down with his pitching coaches on more than one occasion and just gone, hey, guys, we need to figure out a plan to figure out something that I can do over and over and over consistently. It's one thing to try to get me to have all this explosive stuff, but if I can't do it and repeat it and I can't become consistent with it, it does me no good. So several different occasions, Peter has sat down with all of the great minds of the Dodgers in the system, and they put plans together to maximize his explosive nature of his stuff, but in a way that he can absolutely do over and over and over. And to be honest with you, he's still walking quite a few guys this year, which, hey, everybody has at least one mort, right? So I will say that, but his stuff looks absolutely awesome. As a matter of fact, Heubeck look at that changeup. He took a no-hitter into the 6th inning last night. He retired the first 9 hitters of the game, and then he walked Carter Jensen in the 4th, so he had a no-hitter, or he had a perfect game going into the 4th. He walked Carter Jensen in the 4th, then he sat down the next 5 hitters in a row, and Peter Heubeck has allowed, now listen to this very carefully, Heubeck has allowed just 12 hits all year. 12 hits all year in his 6 outings. That's 21.2 innings. That's not runs. That's hits all year for Peter Heubeck. And his average against for the young man out of Baltimore, Maryland is 182. 30 strikeouts on the year. 30 strikeouts and 12 hits. Wow, that's amazing. So that's what I'm saying. His stuff is loud. When it's in the zone, he dominates, simply put. Like I said, this is a young man that continues to find the best version of himself. Got to stay healthy, stack outings at the AA level, continue to master the execution piece. And as he continues to grow, man, we got something on our hands here in Peter Heubeck. And another guy mentioned, hey, if the hit tool comes along, you got something in Cole Myers. This is a guy that can get from home to first base in less than 4 seconds. As a matter of fact, watch this. Routine ground ball to first base, safe. That's Cole Myers. That's how fast he is. And this is a guy, too, watch, boom. He just takes the barrel in the most direct path he possibly can to the baseball. And so there's just absolutely nothing complicated about what he does. He simplifies his approach. And because he's so fast, just put the dang thing in play and use your speed. And that's exactly what he's done. Back-to-back multi-hit gains for Cole Myers. He's 5 for his last 9. He's 8 for his last 15. And this is a guy, again, if he can gather hits, you got something on your hands with Cole Myers because he can absolutely run. I mean, he can run with, he's one of the fastest guys in the system, no doubt about it. So I'm very excited about Cole Myers, who just got promoted up to AA Tulsa. And another guy that's very exciting, Taylor Young. 2 more hits last night for him. He stole his 13th base, and he also scored a run. And he does the chicken dance. Watch that. See that? Taylor Young loves doing all those things to get his teammates fired up. How about this for T.Y., the all-time hits leader at Louisiana Tech? He's hitting .364 this month, and he's reached safely in 17 games in a row, and he has hits in 6 of his last 10 at-bats. So great job, Taylor Young. It has been a joy to watch a very slow start for him. Again, he's another guy that's he's always been able to get base hits, no doubt. He's tried to add some thump and some, try to do more damage. And I think that's messed with his swing a little bit. So kind of going back to his roots, hit the ball at the middle, hit the ball the other way, gather hits. If the ball happens to get, see right there, just ground balls, line drives. If the ball happens to get in the air and you hit a home run every now and then, great. But that's not Taylor Young's game. And how about this? Walkoff for Griffin Lockwood Powell. He had multiple walk-offs at Central Michigan. As a matter of fact, Griffin Lockwood Powell is the all-time RBI king in the history of Central Michigan, but first professional walk-off ever for Griffin Lockwood Powell. So that was a lot of fun for him, and this is a young man that played first base last night. For the first time in a while, he's been catching mostly this year with the promotions. Of course, he was on the same team last year as Diego Cartaya and Dalton rushing. And then you also have Janer Fernandez. So he's been catching most of the time this year, but played first base last year. Had 2 hits on the night. Both hits resulted in RBIs. This one in the bottom of the 10th was a walk-off, so congratulations. GLP, Lock, whatever you want to call him, Griffin Lockwood Powell. And as we move up to the AAA level, atta baby Sam Carlson. Sam Carlson continues to have a great year. I'm telling you, man, this guy got in the Dodgers system. Yes, he still walks too many guys. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but he has margin for error because that left turn, that right turn, that cutter / two-seam combo that he's got going is really heavy, man. I mean, it's a heavy ball. It's a unique release point. There is Justin Dean. We're going to cover him in a minute. He had a home run last night, too. So Carlson has been very good. As a matter of fact, Sam Carlson has allowed just 1 run this month. That's at 9.1 innings. His ERA is just 0.96 this month in those 9.1 innings. And his batting average against, we said he throws a heavy ball, just 133. So great job for Sam Carlson. No doubt about that, who has been pitching well all year. He's a guy that has gotten in the Dodgers system. I don't know if he'll actually ever help the Dodgers at the major league level, but he is a guy that is making himself marketable for another team. So maybe even if he doesn't help the Dodgers at the major league level, maybe they can trade him and get something out of him. And this is who you're seeing here is a young man that actually a wily old veteran that has almost 1,500 at-bats at the major league level, Nick Senzel, who had 2 hits last night for AAA Oklahoma City. And what you just saw is a grand slam. It's been a slow start for Senzel with Oklahoma City. He's hitting just 195 at the AAA level. But again, quad A guy with almost 1,500 major league at-bats on a minor league contract. That kind of depth is super valuable to the Dodgers. We know they love to have that kind of depth. They use it all the time. So keep an eye out for Nick Senzel as he continues to play for AAA Oklahoma City on a team that is just unbelievably talented. And this is Justin Dean. That a baby hit the ball the other way. I love this young man's game. 2 hits for AAA Oklahoma City. He had an RBI. He scored a run. And quite frankly, we have not covered this young man enough on Dodgers Daily down on the farm. He made a splash in spring training. He was very exciting to watch. Here's his home run from last night. And he's having a really good year, so I should have covered him more. 284 on the year, OPS 937. The calling card is the speed, no doubt about that. We saw that in spring training. And so Justin Dean, good to see him having good success. I wanted to make sure and get him covered here on Dodgers Daily down on the farm because he is having a good year and using that speed to his advantage. And we are going to finish with one of my favorites who is having maybe the best year of any minor leaguer in all of baseball. And that would be one Mr. Ryan Ward. Old Wardo had another multi-hit game last night. He continues to rake. 2 hits last night. That's his 16th multi-hit game of the year and hit his first triple of the season last year. I need to message old Wardo and say, hey, man, you don't have to run as fast if you hit home runs, right? Right here. Here we go. Strike up the William Tell overture right here. Around the bases we go. Ryan Ward, you remember he had the inside the park home run a couple of weeks ago for the walk-off? Here goes the triple. Ryan Ward all the way around to third base. Old Wardo, 323 OPS, 951, and he has 3 multi-hit games. And in his last 4 and his 7 for his last 18. So Ryan Ward absolutely been hot all year. He has stayed hot, so great job. Wardo, remember, he is the all-time home runs leader in the Bricktown era in Oklahoma City. So he is a fantastic player. So, hey, that's going to do it for Dodgers Eddie down on the farm today. I want to thank you for tuning in. You Dodgers dogs out there are the absolute best. So again, my name is Casey Porter, and as always, just a reminder, it is a great day to be a Dodger.